Good afternoon. Fabio Ronetti for Winston Capital. We're going to cover the week of April 15 through 18. And we're at full on the reporting season. We started, remember, last week with JP Morgan doing very good numbers. And then the banks in general were good. Bank of America was good, Wells Fargo less so. Morgan Stanley did very good, and Goldman Sachs less so. The most important thing on JP Morgan is that made a comment that it was a strong economy and a very healthy consumer, which is something that we've been looking about that. Uber is the big one. Everybody's talking about. Very interesting, big article on Financial Times about the company by saying it's not so easy. The premise originally was cars are 95% of the time parked. If we somehow free that stuff and make them more usable, it's better for everybody. But now Uber, in their own prospectus, is coming to realize, one, when people are going to a concert, everybody wants to go there. So how do you do it? B, if you have then all these cars available for people when they go to the concert, then your utilization of capital is not so good, whether you own the cars or whether you have drivers. And then they say, if we get a self-driver or a driverless car, we will have to have them parked somewhere for those peak use days. So quite a challenge. The company is somehow realizing it's not so easy. And then, as you know, Uber operates in many cities around the world. $11 billion in revenues, $50 billion in bookings, but $3 billion in losses. And in every city that they are, they have to have, be mindful of regulation. They have to have boots on the ground and hardware. So it's becoming very expensive, and also the marketing effort to get consumers and drivers at enough quantity so that you can get your car within 3 minutes. It's not so easy, as we know. And we know we're having a big fever of IPOs. We have Pinterest that came up public today. That's doing well. A company that has direct targeting marketing. You're doing a renovation, you go to the billboard, you're changing your car, you go to the billboard. So the marketers or the people who wants to advertise can pinpoint with more effectiveness than, let's say, a Google or a Facebook. Zoom, communication for business to business, that apparently is very good. And Palantir, one of the big dark beasts of the internet, apparently a company that combs the internet for data and to pinpoint trends and information, sort of a private CIA of artificial intelligence. Most of these companies make money, the others don't. And then the platforms, the Airbnbs, the Ubers, the Lyft, still on a big question, how are they going to make money? If you remember, in the early days of the internet, things like Yahoo were profitable the first quarter of existence, not when they came public, when they started. Not so far anymore, and now investors are being a little bit more cautious about those stories. On the reporting side, one of our favorites, Netflix reported very good numbers, 9.06 million users, record number, 140 million users. We like it. Yes, Disney announced their product. It's not going to be ready in November. They don't have any series, and you still have to get 9 million paying subscribers every quarter. So we like it there. China, we got a very positive surprise. GDP at 6.4, retail sales at 8.7, factory orders at 8.5. So we like it. It's positive. You remember, China's the one that is making people worried about the economic growth, and these are Q1 numbers. So in a way, we are seeing this pick up. We'll see what happens. As we've been saying in Winston, it's going to be earnings and economic data. On earnings, so far, we're doing okay, we're doing good. Economic data, same, nothing huge, and slowly, marginally positive news that the market is coming. The Nasdaq today is at the all-time highs. Dow and S&P, according to our technical analysts, very close to break in the all-time highs. Argentina, we had bad inflation numbers in March. The government announced a new package of freezing tariffs and prices from here to year end. And in the IMF, people agree that could be the trade of the year. Remember, we sold Argentina a few weeks ago after losing some money. But the uncertainty about elections is making people very worried about that situation. So we will take a pause and follow it very closely. And also the IMF, the other thing was Venezuela. People were talking about that, and basically, a bit scared on the so many creditors, suppliers, countries, China, Russia, bondholders, no bondholders, that it could be very complicated debt restructuring. On the other hand, people were very impressed that the Guaido team is working very, very hard. They're trying to do a quick and friendly restructuring so investment comes back as soon as possible, and they are very ready for day zero when eventually they might take power. So that was a very constructive thing on the IMF front. Also, finally, the IMF, a general positive perception that the business community is strongly behind President Trump on these negotiations with China, and then eventually we're going to get a positive announcement and a fairly decent deal. That was all. For our subscribers, every day, 8:45 a.m. New York time, live, and you can always get more information on our page, winston.capital. Have a great week.